Hi all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about talking about new makeup, trying new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup that you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, that you hit the like button. Today's video is all about my favorite blushes for spring and summer. Now, I don't own as huge of a blush collection. I'm going to be doing that. I'm probably going to be saying blush. I don't own as large of a blush collection as other people do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a makeup lover. I have a lot of makeup, so I probably own more blush than the average bear. But I know some people who are obsessed with blush who own a ton. I think my collection is modest in comparison to those people. But probably large to, the average person. So, what my criteria usually is for blushes for spring is not that different from what my criteria is for fall and winter. I like something that shows up on my skin tone. I like blushes that you can build up. That my main issue that I have a lot with blushes of any formulation, whether they be powder or liquid or cream, is that they tend to fade on me over time because I do have I have normal to oily skin. It depends on the season. It depends on what's going on with my skin. But my prevailing skin type is oily. And I find that, especially in the summer, blushes don't really last on me. So for that reason, I've always tended to lean towards powder blushes because they tend to last longer on me than cream or liquid. But I've been dipping my toe more and more into cream and liquid blushes, and I do have some that I've really been enjoying using. Some of them have a few caveats for me, like they're not all 100% perfect, but they are ones that I still really enjoy reaching for. So let's start off with the powder blushes that I reach for a lot during the spring and summer months. So first up is my Pat McGrath Desert Orchid. Now, full disclosure, this is not a seasonal blush for me. This is a year-round blush. This is my favorite blush in my entire collection. This blush is my come hell or high water, doesn't matter what the season is, I will be wearing this blush. And this is what she looks like. And it's just a perfect, neutrally brownie, but kind of peachy, but not peachy, neutral toned blush. And it seems super light, but it has a bit of a sheen to it. I don't even know if you can see that. Let me turn the lighting down for you guys so you can see this a little bit, see if you can see that. But it has this beautiful sheen to it that on my skin, on my face, gives this beautiful glow. It gives this gorgeous glow. I just love this blush. And the thing is that this blush, if you have a deeper skin tone, this probably won't work for you. There is another blush that I think works similarly that is called Paradise Venus that I also own. I tend to reach for that one more in the fall and winter, but I think if you are of a deeper skin tone, that might provide a lot of the same qualities that this one does for me and for someone with a lighter skin tone. But I've seen people with super pale skin use this. I've seen people my skin tone use this, and it looks good on that spectrum across the board. It's just a beautiful blush, and it has a sheen to it. So I feel like a lot of times when I'm wearing this, I don't need necessarily a highlighter because I've got this gorgeous glow already on my skin. And I love that, especially in the summer and the spring, but especially in the summer. I love glow in general, but there's something about when you're in the summer when it's like hot and you want that beautiful glow, healthy glow to your skin. And I feel like this gives you that. Next up is my other Pat McGrath that I use. And this one is something that I don't use as much, but when I really want to go for a really high impact, colorful cheek, this is what I reach for. And this is the Pat McGrath Divine Blush in Electric Bloom. And there she is. And she is a bright coral. She is very bright. This I use sparingly. First of all, let me just say that the Pat McGrath blushes are incredibly pigmented. You don't need to use a whole lot. I would say if you have natural hair brushes, and synthetic brushes to opt for the synthetic brushes when using her blushes because they don't pick up as much product, and it can be quite overwhelming with her blushes to use a natural brush because natural brushes pick up so much pigment. I always use my synthetic brushes when I'm using her blushes. That is such a tongue twister. But yeah, this I go in lightly with, and if I need to build it up, I do, but you don't need a whole lot of this, and it's so stunning. And I really love using this when I have like a bare eye and just some mascara and maybe like a bold orange lip. This is a blush that I often reach for. So stunning, especially if you just, you have this and then a bit of a bronzy glow. Stunning. Next up is a shade that I tend to wear more in the spring, and I'm actually wearing it now, and it's really soft. When you see it in the pan, you're probably like, how does that show up on you? But I don't know about that. This shade is a bit of a magician. It is very light, and when I first got it, I was worried that it was not gonna, I'm like, that is not gonna show up on me. But it does, and it leaves this really soft, subtle pink, and it has a bit of a bit of sheen to it. Not shimmer, it's not glittery. It just has a bit of a sheen, kind of like the Desert Orchid does, and it gives the skin this glow. Like all of this glow you see here, all of this is from this blush. And that is the Chantecaille cheek shade in the shade Emotion, which is the one with the little bee on it. I don't have the bee anymore. It's kind of maybe a little bit still there, but not really. Not really. Yeah, it's it's faded quite a bit just from use, but which kind of makes me sad because the bee is so pretty and it has like a little gold overspray, and when you first get it, you're just like, oh, it's so pretty. This is an expensive blush, but it's beautiful, and I don't regret spending the money on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. It's very light, but when I blend it out, it just gives me this really soft pink glow, and that's what I want. Like, I'm not a huge pink blush person, so when I'm using a pink, I don't want like pink rosy cheeks, pinky cheeks. I want something really soft, but it's soft, and then it just gives a beautiful sheen, and that's what all of this right here is. I mean, I have highlighter here, but like all that is this over my bronzer, and it just gives this just a beautiful, it gives a natural kind of pink flush to the cheeks that I really enjoy. And that's something that I use when I don't really want my blush to be a standout. When I'm wearing bold makeup like this, the last thing I want is like this really bold blush on top of that to compete with everything else that's going on my face. So that's why I tend to reach for this one during those moments. Next up is a more affordable blush. I've talked about 2 high-end blushes, 3 high-end blushes now. But this one I've had forever. I love it. And it is, I mean, the main shade that everybody raves about. It's the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Rose Doral. And everyone talks about Luminoso. And I had Luminoso years back, and I was kind of underwhelmed by it. I would revisit that and see how I feel about it now. At the time, I wasn't that into it. But Rose Doral, on the other hand, I absolutely love. And it looks like this, and it has this, it's beautiful baked formula, and it has these beautiful gold flecks throughout, and it just makes the skin glow. And I don't know if you've noticed, a theme here, but I like glowy blush. I do. I love a glowy blush. I love a blush that gives me a bit of, I mean, look at that. How pretty that is on the skin. When I wear this, I don't wear highlighter. Yeah, I don't. I go ham with this, and I just look like a glowy goddess who got a little sun, maybe. Beautiful, beautiful tone. Love it. And it's affordable, I think the Milani baked blushes are like $10. And this is one of their standard shades. They've come up with other shades. There's another shade of theirs that I want, but I'd have to get it on their website. But this is one of their like permanent range, and these are like $10. Next up, I have the cream and liquid blushes that I reach for during this time of year. So those are all the powders. But for creams, the shade that I reach for, I have been reaching for the most, and I've been enjoying, and since I purchased it when it first was released, is the Melt Cosmetics Cream Blush Light in the shade Sandy Cheeks. Looks like this. And it is like this orange, but it has Say it with me, folks. Glow. Where can I put this? I'll put it on my, this is probably not the best place to put it, but you see how it's sort of orange, but it has that like, do you see that sheen? I love this. And it's really, the thing about cream blushes is that they can be really easy to work with or really not easy to work with. And I find that the Melt cream blush lights are so easy to work with, and they're so pigmented, and they don't fade on me. And that's a big deal for me when it comes to cream and liquid blushes, is that they don't fade. And this does not fade on me. It stays literally all day until I take my makeup off. Love this shade. And it's one of those great like shades that it's peachy, but it's also kind of neutral. So it goes with a lot, like you can wear it with a lot of different eye looks. And it works well. It's very versatile, which I enjoy. Next up is one that I wear this in the fall and winter too. It's a beautiful shade, and it is the Tower 28 Beach Please Cream Blush. It says it's for lips too. They always say that, and I never use these things on my lips, but it is for cheeks, and it is in the shade Power Hour. This, this one, when I first felt it, I was like, no. I mean, look at that. It's so thick. And let me just show you guys what I mean when I say thick. Like, it's like, and when I first tried it, I was like, oh, and of course I scratched my nail in there. I was like, no, that is too much for me. But when I blended it out with my brush, I was like, oh, okay. This is what I wear when I want like that sort of rosy brown tone that looks so great on most skin tones and goes with so much as far as your, you know, whatever other makeup you have on. This is what I wear, and it blends out beautifully, and it stays. Like this one is definitely a thicker formula than the Melt, but they have the same amount of staying power on my skin, which is fabulous. And yeah, this is Power Hour. This is the shade that I recommend to everyone if you're looking for one of the Tower 28 blushes, because I've seen this on a varying range of skin tones, and I have yet to see it look bad on anyone. It's just one of those really great neutral type of blushes that works well across the spectrum. This is a blush that I am trying to love. And when I say I'm trying to love, I do love it, but I don't know if I love it for me. And the shade is really pretty. I love the formula. The formula is stunning, but this does fade on me. And I'm really curious to try another color, but I really don't know if I want to do that until I've made this one work and to see if I can make it work and really last on me. Yesterday, I discovered that I enjoy applying this one more with my fingers. I've tried with brushes, both synthetic and natural, and I wasn't really a fan of how they applied, but when I tried it with my fingers, and I've been doing that a lot lately, applying some of my base products with my fingers. I applied my foundation today with my fingers, but yeah, I applied this with my fingers yesterday, and I loved the way it looked. It did fade, but what I noticed is I decided to bring it up a little bit higher, and I was wearing it like here, which I really love that look. I love blush draping. I am a huge fan of blush draping. So I brought it up higher. I had been wearing it sort of like here. I brought it up higher and did like a sort of shortened drape of my blush. So I didn't start it down here. I started like right there, and I kind of blended it up. And it stayed, and it looked beautiful. And so I want to try this more. And that is I haven't even decided what it was. It is the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude in the shade 45, which is brick red. And this is what it looks like. I bought this in the fall, and I've worn it in the fall, and it's one of those shades that is very versatile. You can wear this in the fall. The texture of these, and this is another one that they say you can use. This one says you can use on your eyes. I wouldn't use this on my eyes. It's too emollient in my opinion. These blushes are, the feeling of them is like velvet, and they are so pigmented, and they feel so nice on the skin. They blend so beautifully. I mean, look at that. And it's like this, it says brick red, but it's really more like a burnt orange. And just this with a bold lip and like maybe some wing liner, maybe not, just all like bronzy glow, mascara, and a bold lip. I mean, summer, you know? How pretty that is. And I really like it on my skin tone, and I really want to get this to work for me. And yesterday was the first time where I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere with it. So I want to get more use out of this, but I am obsessed with the shade and the formula. And I'm like, I want it to work for my skin type. You know, I think on dry skin, and even honestly, I think this probably could work for deeper skin tone because it's so pigmented. Because it's very pigmented. This is just me, that little bit that was on my hand, and I'm still blending. I'm still blending. Do you see that? I'm still blending. These are pigmented. So I do think this could work on deeper skin tone. But what I was really trying to say is that it would work for dry skin because I think it would adhere better to a skin tone, a skin type that's more normal and more, or dry. I think I could probably get this to work better in the winter time, maybe, but we'll see. I didn't get a chance to wear this as much as I would have liked this after I bought it. And I bought this in, I want to say like November of last year. So I didn't get a chance to really wear this as much as I would have liked. So I want to get some use out of it this season and also take it into fall and winter and see how it holds up on my skin in the drier months. But you know, it's not a hit home run yet, but I'm going to make it work because I love the formula and I love the shade. Next up is a product that is newer to my collection, but I wore it a ton when I first got it and I'm really enjoying it. I've never been a huge liquid blush girl. Like I like powder, I like cream, but liquid has always been it's always eluded me. And then I recently received the Ginsee Beauty Clean Sheen Cheek Lip Color. Again, they say it's a lip color. I just use this on my cheeks. And it is the shade Apple. Now, this is a first for me for two reasons. One, I don't usually do like reds or liquids. And the consistency of this is it's a liquid. And I'll show it to you. But it's more, and actually I will say it's more like a gel. I'll say it's a gel because it's not runny. And it's a red, and I don't usually do red. I mean, look how bright that is. That's bright for me. I don't usually do these types of shades. But what I love about this is as you blend it out, do you see that? How natural and like soft it gets, and a little bit goes a long way. Do you see how much I'm blending this out on my hand? And so what I like about this is I wear this on days where I am doing sort of like a really natural look and I just want some color to my cheeks. This is what I wear. Look how pretty that is. It's so sheer and like soft. Like these are, you see the difference? Like these are very pigmented. And this is just really soft. And even though it's a red, it's not like overpowering on my cheeks, even though the color when it comes out of the tube is like, whoa. And when I first put it on, like those first few dots, I'm like, whoa. But it just blends out so lovely. How stunning that is. So yeah, this is the Ginsee Clean Sheen Cheek and Lip Color in the shade Apple. All right, guys, so those are my picks from my collection of the shades that I reach for as far as blushes go for spring and summer. Let me know in the comments down below what are some of your go-to blush shades and also formulas, because I'm stepping more out of the box as far as formulations go when it comes to blush. So I would love to know what some of your favorite formulations and shades are. Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you are not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.